Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Berto Will is your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today, as usual. How are my peeps doing? I trust everybody's doing fine. Anyhow, we are going to be going here and making sure to take care of business. I should really start the right way. Happy New Year. I trust that everybody at least brought the new year in with a smile. I so want everybody to have started the New Year's with a smile. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get busy, make sure that I have all our things executed as they should, which it doesn't seem like all has executed yet, but we'll hold off a while to see if they fly. And you know what? They flew. They took off. All right. Here's the deal. Michael Rudnick is in the house. Michael, I hope you're feeling a little bit better. We know all that you've gone through was really, really tough. Michael Rudnick says, listening in. Sad to say, 2022 has been a fairly bad year for me. Can only hope 2023 will get better. Was supposed to go in for a sonogram today. Their office call saying that the referral was rejected by insurance. I asked how much without insurance, just to the consult. Without the sonogram was $300. So I didn't even ask for the rest of it. Have to go back to my primary care physician tomorrow and get a new referral to a different location, or to wait a week for their in-house sonogram technician to come around. Meantime, my leg still hurts. Can't sit down for long to watch and reply. So either being hobbling around with a walker or lying down in bed. Got 3 new little hematomas, blood pools on the right foot, calf, and thighs, while the older ones are slowly going away. What you've gone is severe bruising. And that's what you're looking at, severe bruising, and it comes to pass now. For all of those that are listening right now, our brother Rudnick was hit by a car, a truck, or something. He got banged up very well. He has bruises that really, in as much as he's likely going to be fine, we shouldn't wait to see if he throws a clot before him being able for a doctor to fairly definitively says, no, let's just let this heal on its own. But we claim the Canadian system has rationing. We claim the Canadian system makes you wait. We do it just like any other system, but ours is done dishonestly. Ours is done to make a buck, because for the amount of money that we put into the healthcare system, for the amount of money, which is more than 50% more than the nearest person or so, we should have no problem having a Michael Rudnick after being hit by an SUV, he says. It's an SUV, sorry man, it's an SUV. Going in to see a doctor to get a response. I covered some of this on my show at KPFT today. We are so indoctrinated that we cannot see when our own system, our healthcare system, or economic system is screwing us all. Folks, let's wake up, my friend. That is what's the purpose of this show. Let's wake up. Second story from Michael Rudnick. Trump's tax returns show his losses. He's nowhere near a billionaire. Good odds say the bulk of Trump's wealth comes from illegal gains. Not even gains, inflated property prices. Waiting on tax evasion, money laundering, foreign bribes, foreign account tax havens, and numerous fraud charges. Bank fraud, charity fraud, and insurance fraud from overvaluing and undervaluing assets, as it comes to being a bad businessman. He's only a crooked businessman. Trump is America's second worst loser, only after Elon Musk. At least Elon Musk was a real billionaire, even if it's built on the monies and backs of others. He actually had it in the bank. If anyone else cheated the way Trump did, they'd already be in prison. Salute, I agree. Third story, AP, and pardon it's particularly long one. Why are you doing this to me, Brother Rudnick? You know I love you, man. Come on, you know I love you. Anyway, Trump taxes, takeaways from release of long-sought returns. I'm going to read this one fast. I'm not necessarily in its entirety. The longtime real estate and media mogul with business interests on multiple continents was asked during the 2020 presidential debate about having bank accounts in China. He said he closed it before he began his 2016 campaign. A statement his tax returns show was not true. He lies all the time. The bank account was in 2013. It was closed in 2015. I believe Trump said during the debate, I was thinking about doing the deal in China, like millions of other people. I was thinking about it. I decided not to do it. The tax returns, however, report that Trump had a bank account in China in 2015, 2016, and 2017. The returns show accounts in other foreign countries over the years, including the United Kingdom, Southern Ireland, and the Caribbean islands, portion of St. Martin, Gulf properties. By 2018, Trump had apparently closed all his overseas account. Other than the one in the UK, check out to make sure it wasn't put in somebody else's name, though. Home to one of the flagship Gulf properties. The returns don't detail the amount of money held in these accounts. It's been long known that Trump, like many rich people, has been able to exploit the country's complex tax code to avoid paying a large sum of taxes of his income. The federal government, as working families do. When he was pressed on not paying federal tax in 2016, he told Democrats, that makes me smart. I remember that. It also highlights a two-tier tax system that allows wealthy people like Donald Trump to take advantage of breaks and loopholes not available to regular households. The 2020, for example, Trump reported owning home more than 150 private corporations that claimed losses, sometimes in the millions of dollars. Partly by claiming those losses, Trump reduced his own federal tax income liability to zero that year. Continuing, last one from Radnin S. as follows. Newsweek, full list of Trump's foreign bank accounts. His release of 6 years of Donald Trump tax returns show the former president held foreign bank accounts throughout his time in the White House. House Democrats on Friday unveiled Trump's records following a protracted legal battle. The businessman turned president years refusal to hand over filings fueled public suspicion about what might be revealed. Some political observers believe they could contain key clues to his foreign business ties, or perhaps that he was less wealthy than he really claimed. The release revealed that Trump listed multiple foreign bank accounts during his times in office. I'm pretty sure this is illegal, criminal tax evasion, foreign bribery, even having foreign bank accounts, as politicians smack of corruption and crime. Imagine for a moment if Biden or Obama had a Chinese bank account, the right-wing bubble would never shut up about it, and they would even call him a communist. We know that's how they work. All right, welcome aboard. Eric Hayes says, hope you had your black eyes peas for luck. May need some this year. I don't need any luck this year because, again, the Republicans need a lot of luck because they're fighting among themselves and trying to determine who's going to be speaker. And whoever becomes speaker, let me take a coffee drink. Whoever becomes speaker will be a weak one and likely won't last all 2 years. Welcome into the house, Peggy Lopez. Welcome, Eric Hayes. Welcome, E2247, ABQ, of course. Tom C. says, Michael Rudnin wishes for a healthy and happy new year. Take care of yourself, buddy. We need you more than ever. Yes, we do, brother Rudnin, more than ever. Let's see. Melanie Keelan is in the house. She says, hi, everybody. Melanie and Eric and was on the noon show as well, the live show that we do with KPFT. So hi, Melanie Keelan. We also have Julie Henderson says, will GOP choose temper tantrum as speaker? Who knows? Lee Grant is in the house. He says I think I saw, Lee was also at the noon session. What else we got here? With Julie Henderson says, what will the wealthy elites do when poor die from no health care? They need the poor to support them, Because remember, the reason people are poor is that those guys they take our money, right? Climate green energy clash with true environmental impact issues like food and marine life. U.S. government scientists warn federal regulators the South Fork offshore wind farm near the Rhode Island coast threatened the southern New England cod as specified as so ingrained. Oh, really? I got to read that. I don't follow that. All right. Julie Henderson says, Eric Hayes says, that sucks, Redden. Sorry to hear that you can lean on the person that hurt you. Actually, I should have asked that, right? Right, Eric? He should actually be paying the bills. He may have to sue the person who hit him. All right, what else we got here? Welcome to the family. Julie Henderson says, Michael Running, open a GoFundMe. Yep, you can do that, but I think we need to go after that guy who hit him badly. All right, continuing, we have Tom C says, Twitch, E2247, best wishes to you and all the PDR posse for a happy, healthy, and peaceful New Year. Thank you, Tom. What else have we got here? Melanie Keelan says, thanks, I'm going to make every effort. Yes, Melanie, we will. Eric says they won't go after Bad Orange Man now, right? In case he wins, he will be a catastrophic for DOJ. And he can't win, and we'll make sure that he doesn't win because he's going to jail. Thank you. Julie Henderson says all government employee applicants must have an approved, completed background check from mail clerk to presidente. Lee Grant says, where is Breach? Yes, where is Breach? I know the Irish like to party hard for New Year's Eve, but she's not here yet. Breach, they are calling on you. Breach MCP, we want to know where you are. Eric Hayes says, happy damn New Year. More taxes on essential things. We need to have a lot more taxes on a lot of things. And we need to free taxes away from a lot of the working class. Give it to the rich. All right, we have, let's see. Eric doesn't like Pete Buttigieg. He says, your buddy Pete during the summer saying airlines will do better during holidays. He couldn't fix potholes and now can't fix airlines. I want to ask you a question. Is it the DOJ's responsibility for the airline companies to do right? I thought you didn't believe in things like that, Eric Hayes. Why, now that Pete is transportation secretary, you want him to fix something normally you guys want the private sector to fix? Does HYPOCRITS ring a bell? I don't know. Okay. Yvette Avery Herod is in the house. Welcome, Yvette. How are you doing, my dear beautiful lady? We also have E2247 says, Department of Defense and related work on nuclear weapons at the Department of Energy is more than $850 billion for fiscal 2023, far higher than spending at the height of the Cold War or peak years of the Korean and Vietnam War. It's crookery. Ken E. Floyd, welcome to Politics Done Right. He says, thanks for being bold, original, and truthful. We try our best, brother Ken L. Lloyd. E. Lloyd, thank you so kindly for being here. Yvette is in the house. Like I said, our beautiful Yvette is here with us. Michael Runnan should get sonogram for $300. No questions asked. Yeah, he could actually get it and then sue them, right? Breach finally made it. Breach, we were concerned about your tardiness because we know you're usually one of the first ones in the house. But anyhow, you're here. All right, Michael Runnan says, I'm going to go back to my doctor tomorrow, reschedule the sonogram. The multiple doctors I've spoken to all told me the same thing. I need to rest for a month. The sonogram is mostly for peace of mind, to make sure there is no unlikely problems such as internal bleeds or blood clots. That's always my concern, the blood clot portion. And Deborah Moyers is in the house. She says, we have a few hypocrites around. That is so true, my dear beautiful lady. E2247 says, Pentagon Profiteers, Executive Compensation in the Arms Industry by William Hartung, defense analyst covering economics of Pentagon. Good book. I haven't read it, but the title sounds good. Pete calling out Southwest pumping his chest is gaslighting and nothing else, as he has done nothing and can't do a thing to the airlines. Of course he can do something to the airlines. We can find the holy hell out of them, and we can ground them if they decide to become a menace to society. Of course we can, Eric. Read your laws. Julie Henderson says, businesses that do not prepare for crisis should not be eligible for government taxpayer money. And with that, I drink a sip of coffee because you're right. Thank you, Julie. Michael Rodden said, yep, I really don't want to sue the driver unless if I get a bill in the mail. There you go. And I agree with that. I agree with that. All right. I have several videos for you today, but by gosh, none of them are queued up. The reason they're not queued up is today I was actually 2 minutes late for the show because the first time I tried to queue the show, the damn program crashed. If you ask me, why did the program crash, Egberto? I had no reason why the program crashed. But I do know one thing. I have these videos that I'm going to show you. And as soon as I can get to it, I will. But as I try my best, my true list best, I think I came upon the first one. I want to play you this one from Adam Kinzinger. Congressman dings the GOP Republican Party and its future. Check this one out, and then we'll take it on the other side. But before I play this one, let me go ahead and cue them all up, because if I don't do that, it's going to be harder on me. This one is Answer to Exasperated Caller. I want to play that one for you guys too. And I want to also play, which other one am I playing? I'm playing it looks like I took the other ones. I tell you what, before I go to the Kinzinger one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a piece from an exasperated person who called into the show, and then we'll take it on the other side. I want to do that one first. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to Pamela.
Good afternoon, Egberto. How are you?
All right. How are you doing, Pamela?
Pretty good. Getting over COVID still. I've had it twice. I've got long COVID, but hopefully the doctors will come up with some answers.
Well, anyway, I wanted to ask you, better. Go ahead, ma'am.
What do we do? I know organizing is the big word, but what do we do is just the average retired person. What do we do to help turn Texas blue?
Let me first tell you. I like to say turn Texas progressive, because these are the policies that we.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah, and these are the policies we need to make sure people have health care, to make people sure they have education. And let me tell you, no despair, but let me tell you after what happened in with our national races with Abbott and Patrick beating Beto and my good friend Collier, I can tell you that the National Democratic Party will probably completely abandon Texas, which means Texas is going to be going forth on their own. And I believe it or not, I think that's a good thing. And let me explain why. So my thought is as followed, right? And this is not a short-term thought. It's a long-term thought. I interviewed some guys in Liberty County. Liberty County is a very red county that continues to vote against their own interests. But the party there decided that they are going to finally not just do the numbers and say a Democrat lives here and a Democrat lives there and a Democrat lives there. And we are going to just try to get all Democrats to go out to vote. I mean, if all Democrats in Texas voted, Texas would be a blue state. But I don't even want that. I want people to vote their interests. And how do we do this? We have to engage with those people who don't necessarily think they want to engage with us. In other words, let me give an example. I don't remember if it's Yoakum, but I'm going to use this town Yoakum as an example. Yoakum has lost its only hospital. It may not be Yoakum, it may be somewhere else. It has lost its own hospital. Its hospital. It lost that hospital because Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick, because of their ideological sternness, refused to accept something called the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, I remember. Okay. I'm still ticked off at him about that.
Right. And because of that.
Inhuman.
Right. Now, Houston has a lot of hospitals that even if you don't have that, if you go into an emergency room sick, you can get care. But if you live in Yoakum, Texas, if you have some sort of an emergency, you're in a little town that has nothing left. And the person who hurt you was Governor Abbott and Dan Patrick. But those people don't know that, because my subject today was local news gone, right? And folks, if you want, since I'm talking to a lot of people on air, please go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter to finish reading the article that I wrote on local news, on local papers going away, etc. But here's what happens. Those people don't know, because remember, the subject today is local news. There's no local news in Yoakum to tell them that the reason they don't have that hospital is because the current governor that you guys elect all of the times, the current lieutenant governor, refuses to accept money that's already there for you, that Texans are already paying for, to give you health care. But you go without and you die. He sends it back. Then the other thing is, like, for the farmers, do you know that the reason you're paying the price for your fertilizer, which is based on petroleum, is because of regulations, etc. So there is so much that we have that we can sit down around a cup of coffee and not hammer it into our Republican brothers and sisters, but just have a conversation. And they're not going to leave that conversation agreeing with you. But you know what you would have done, Pamela? You would have planted a seed.
I've talked to a few that are really right-wing fanatics.
Right.
They don't talk about what they need to do to govern. They don't talk. They'll talk about Hunter Biden's laptop and all this BS, but they have nothing really, anything good to say. You know, it's like the ones I've spoken to. Mm-hmm. They're generations of believing in this stuff.
Right. But
the religion, everything that goes with it. It's just, I can understand why they call them right wing.
Yeah.
But I just don't, you can't even speak with them because they're like brainwashed.
Let me tell you how brainwashed people work, though, because let me tell you what happened to me. I don't know if you heard me tell this story before, but I was in a Starbucks where I write my books and my blogs and everything at Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And this woman comes in there and she says, God, I see you in here all of the time. What do you do? And then I started talking to her, and then she started talking about healthcare. I mean, about her insurance company and all of that, and having problems with her insurance company to get
Advantage.
Healthcare. Right. So she starts telling me, I start asking her what she would like and how would she change it, and et cetera, et cetera. And I gave her sometimes some lead-in questions, but it turns out that everything she wanted in healthcare was what we would call healthcare for all or Medicare for all. That's what she wanted. But because she is a right-wing Republican in Kingwood, Texas, she didn't conceive that that's what she wanted. And I started to feel guilty. And I looked at her and I said, ma'am, I just want to let you know that I'm a left-wing progressive kind of guy. And she looks at me wide-eyed and turned completely red. And she said, but you're so nice. And I said, ma'am, you need to go have some dinner with the Liberal Ladies Who Lunch. There's a group in King called Liberal Ladies Who Lunch. I said, and you'll see that we're all nice people. We're all looking for the same thing. The thing about it is, honestly, they think you have horns. They think that progressive are walking around with horns and that they're killing babies and they hate all. They don't realize that, and that's how they were programmed. That's what Fox News.
Right. And you're going to steal their money when it's the Republicans that are stealing their money.
Right. And the thing about it,
tax breaks to the very rich.
Right.
And he still got cult followers.
Right. And what I do, like I said, is I let them answer the questions themselves. Every now and then somebody would catch themselves answering it the way that they know that I would have won, and they say, oh God, I got caught. And, so again, we have to work in Texas in that way going forward. We have to work, when we say organize, we have to not only organize in Harris County or Travis County or Bear County or Dallas County or Tarrant County. We have to organize in Brenham County and San Antonio. We have to organize in these places that we normally don't go to. And that is the biggest problem why I think personally we've had too much failure with the party in Texas, and that you have to give. I know it irks you to have a right winger who simply does not seem to get it, but a lot of it is because of our lack of engagement with these folks. And I think we are the ones who want to get the real change. They're willing to, many of them think that the way things are now, it's the only way things can be. And we know better. So
I actually heard a Republican, it was on 88.7. I forget what show it was on in the evening, but he admitted that the smarter people are in the Democratic Party.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Or progressives. He admitted it.
Right.
But because he's with a corporation, he's into taxes, saving taxes and all this banana stuff.
It is funny because Donald Trump pretty much insulted his following by saying, and we have it on tape, I love stupid people. And I'm not calling anybody stupid. I am not calling anybody stupid, but I'm saying that is what Donald Trump said on tape. And you sit down there and you're like, oh my God, how dare you tell people that? And then the next thing you know, there's a meme that comes out with people that he said that to are willing to. It's so funny. But
he's a very desperate guy.
Right.
I wouldn't even call him a man. He's a very desperate guy because of all the crap he's still doing out on the streets, talking and saying all the stuff he's saying.
But
he has no life.
Right. I have hope
because he needs money.
Yes. I have hope. And I believe more in the American people. Like I said, when I decided to do this stuff 100%, in other words, dedicate my life to this, I figured everybody, just about you can speak to just about everybody, Pamela. And it doesn't matter that they listen to you the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, but eventually they'll listen to you.
Yeah, I've talked to a few. They're older, even older than me, and I'm a senior.
There you go.
You know, he's got these people really, I don't know, I guess they're just poor people that were disgusted and fed up. And so it was kind of like grabbing at straws. You know, he was there. The
other thing that they do a lot of times is to give people a false belief that they can be what they are when they are the ones who control whether they are going to open the door for you or not. And they don't tell you that. But anyway, Pamela, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so kindly for giving us a call. And you have the wonderful rest of your day, okay? All right, folks, I hope you liked that one. That was an interview. Every day I get in calls from callers. And I don't know if you got my newsletter where I said I'm going to, if on not every day, but on some days, I'm going to get it working in here that we can get the telephone calls in here as well. So we'll work on that. And when we get that out and running, we'll connect that baby up and we'll take a few calls and so forth and so on and so forth and so on and so forth and so on. All right, continuing with the program, we have Michael Rudnan says, yep, I really don't want to sue the driver unless the bill gets in the mail. I got you, Rudnan. That makes a lot of sense. Bridge MCP says, not feeling well. I think I ate bad food. I know that feeling. One time I had it. It was bad. I felt my innards were coming out. The food poisoning was so bad. So I feel for you, my dear sister. I feel for you. All right, let's see what else we got. Peggy Lopez is in the house. She says she's leaving. Sorry to see you go this quickly, Peggy. Julie Henderson says, please watch the movie Queen and Slim, Modern Day Underground Railroad. Excellent movie. I think I saw that movie. I think they both got killed at the end, right? Well, hear me go telling the end of the darn movie. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right. Melanie Keelan says, Breach, hope you feel better soon. Drove with the porcelain bus myself yesterday. Oh, girl, I've never heard it like that. I drove the porcelain bus. I love that. That sounds great. All right. We have Daniel Ledo says, excellent logic. Let's take it further. Individuals who don't prepare for crisis should be borrowed from government handouts. Okay, let me see. Individuals who don't prepare for a crisis. Expand on that. I'm curious to what you mean, because the way I see it is, yes, individuals sometimes don't plan, but they don't do what businesses do in general. But who knows? Who am I? All right, Breeze, rest well, please. From E2247, Lee Grant says, Julie Henderson, you sure have lots of rules and regulations for folks. We do believe in some rules and regulations, Brother Grant. You know that. Breeze says, oops, sorry, Melanie Keelan, haven't eaten anything in 24 hours. Just jumped on this for a minute. Thank you, beautiful. Eric says, you can't look at Florida. What happened? And it went the opposite direction. Huh? Don't know what you're talking about. All right. Julie Henderson said to Daniel Ledo says, if taxpayers had access to own Social Security tax before 62 years old, government handouts wouldn't be required. True. A lot of people don't get it. That's for another day. Lee Grant, rules should apply to all, not some. That is equality. I agree. Deborah Moyer says, I agree with Julie. Lee Grant says, right-wing fanatics are people too. That's why I speak to them all. That's why I don't discriminate in who I speak to. I speak to everybody because not only do I love them all, but I expect to have a change going forward, my brother. So that's right. And I am with you 100%. We also have, Eric says, Egberto, you bringing up lost hospitals is not valid, especially in Yoakum. Okay, in Yoakum, like I said earlier on, I talked about a hospital close. I mentioned Yoakum was on the mind when I said it, but I said it's likely not. If it's one of the hospitals several hospitals in Texas rural areas have closed. That's all I'm talking. And in rural areas around the country because of the lack of accepting the Medicare expansion to the Affordable Care Act. That's simple. All right. Deborah Moyer says, I think he said he wasn't sure it was Yoakum. Thank you, Deborah. At least you listened, my dear, beautiful lady. Many rural communities have lost their hospitals due to refusal to utilize Medicaid expansion. People die without hospitals. True. All right. Peggy Lopez says, gotta sign off. Have a great rest of your day. You have a wonderful day, Peggy. And let's see what else we got here. Eric says, real smart. Get a $300K education for a $50K per year job. Actually, that wouldn't be a bad investment, okay? If you got a $300K education for a $50,000 a year job, all right, let's expand this. And that education doesn't only work for school, but works for a whole lot of other things. That's not a problem, all right? Okay, now it's a mortgage, but we should really have free education. Lee Grant says, Egberto, I looked at a map of medical facilities in Texas. There were many and dispersed all over the state. Can you pick a spot in Texas? Yoakum, I said I wasn't sure, and I think I was proven wrong about Yoakum, where you would be without a facility within 50 miles. You continue to gaslight this. I will find it for you. But a hospital 50 miles away is quite a distance, right? Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree, sir? All right. And I don't gaslight, sir. I do not gaslight. I simply speak facts. Rural hospitals have been closing because of the refusal for the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act. That's not even a question. Why even bring that up as an issue, Brother Grant? All right. Eric Hayes, most other nations have free public college, even places like Brazil, Argentina. You come out of college without debt looking for that 50K job with the Help Society progress. The problem is systemic. We are, like the title of my show today at KPFT, let me bring that up because it is actually apropos. Let's see, Substack. And folks, subscribe to my Substack. Go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Check it out. But the title of my show today at KPFT was Humane Democracy Will Die with 1,000 Cuts as We Further Monetize Survival. And there are a few paragraphs that I can read out of there that's important. People die, every rooftop should have electrical panels to store or sell its excess generation. It should be a national policy. The electrical generation capacity would be enormous. Unfortunately, as all critical resources, when we turn anything required for our survival to market vultures, a few make huge profits, and it prevents the proliferation of, in this case, solar panels, and could save the environment, reduce personal costs, and much more. People die in our healthcare system not because we do not have the resources to save them. They die because the for-profit healthcare system exchanges their life for money. Families are destroyed because we choose to minimize a necessary safety net at the expense of developing children's lives. Healthcare for kids, food for kids, daycare, family care, family leave. All those things make a good family. An economic system cannot be fair if the things we must have are profit-based. Healthcare, energy, and beneficial national policy options should not be for profit. It is inhumane and creates disparities that have little to do with one's worth or meritoriousness. I believe wholeheartedly in free enterprise with a strong social safety net. Every American should be able to own their own business, compete, and make a fair profit. Those who decide to work for someone else deserve a livable wage. A company that cannot pay a livable wage is not a business but a hobby. But some portions of our economy where our survival is at stake should not be at the whim of a few for-profit companies. It is that simple. It is that simple, folks. It is that simple. All right, let's see. Judith says, Bridge, my niece, 37 years old, lives in a group home with two other young adults over 22. Age lapses between 23 and 64. She does not get appropriate health care and takes ambulances 2 times a month for medical care. That's a shame, isn't it? Michael Rudden, spoiler, Egberto, come on, man. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. It just slipped out of my mouth. I didn't control my tongue. What can I say? All right, let's see what else we got here. Next time I'll say spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. All right. I don't know how many saw it, but many of you saw it. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. Maywood is in the house. Good afternoon. Egberto, yes. Queen and Slim at the end. Okay. All right. Daniel Ado says, progressives have a supreme faith that everyone will eventually believe like them. Maybe not the first time, but just keep at it, they believe. Reminds me of missionaries. Well, isn't it true that that is what also the right does? They keep hammering stuff, and it seems to work for a few. But I think when people have empty bellies, it will work, sir. Lee Grant, when you look at rules and regulations that are pushed by the left, it's nearly always about protecting people and the planet. Very true, Redden, in response to brother Lee Grant. Roberto Luis is in the house. He says, saludos, políticos downright. Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo a todos para 2023. Thank you, Lu, for that kind word. Julie Henderson says, I invest in America, childcare, education, job training, housing, healthcare, transportation. Agreed. Eric Hay says, that is just wrong. Thinking punto final. And teaching that living off credit and deficits. Only you think that, sir. Only you think that. Melanie says, Roberto, bon eni, and Tommy. I don't understand that. Michael says, Georgetown University expanding Medicaid would help keep rural hospitals open in 14 non-expansion states. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's numbers. It's facts. You know, it's facts. It's facts. It's facts. I know those things hurt, but it's facts. 2023 slavery, fast food, grocery, great gig jobs, Amazon, etc. Minimum wage without security. You get it, Julie. You get it, sweetheart. You get it. You get it. Michael Rudden to Eric Hayes says, if government gave you the option to install an inexpensive subsidized solar panel and wind turbine on your roof and a battery backup in your backup to give you energy independence, would you take it? You bet I would. And we would be saving the country. You know, we would be saving the country. I got one more video for you all to see. Actually, I had 3 more videos, but it seems like when I processed them, it went into some directory, and I don't know where that directory is. I screwed up. You know, I had to run back from KPFT and put some of the stuff together that I didn't complete last night, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and play that other one by Kinzinger.
You know, Representative Adam Kinzinger has a message that I think every American should learn, every American should understand. He talks about his Republican Party in no uncertain terms. He's honest about what he has to say. The Republican Party is not the party for America's future. If a Republican is telling you that, one that is a very conservative Republican, that should say something. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
What does it say about the future of your party, the Republican Party, that Marjorie Taylor Greene and people like her are kind of ascendant, and the Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheneys of the world are no longer in the Congress?
I think it says to me that the Republican Party is not the future of this country. It says to me that the Republican Party is not the future of this country. It says to me that the Republican Party is not the future of this country unless it corrects, right? Unless there's a change. Because I got to tell you, if you think of a successful America in 20 years, that's not going to be an America based on what Marjorie Taylor Greene wants or based on what some of these radicals want. The only way this country can succeed is if we learn to work together.
You know, I don't particularly share much with Representative Kinzinger. He decided that he's not going to take on elective office, and he's moving on. So again, I guess that gives some people courage to really tell the truth. Many ask, where were you before? Why weren't you saying these things much earlier? The truth of the matter is, I don't care. The truth of the matter is, any Republican right now who cares more about this country and is willing to come out against MAGA? And notice I didn't say Donald Trump. Notice I said MAGA, because that is the danger. As a former pundit said, Donald Trump did not create MAGA. MAGA allowed Donald Trump to become their leader. And as soon as he exits the scene, I tell you, MAGA will continue under the vestiges of the Republican Party. So therefore, Kinzinger is absolutely correct. The future of America does not lie with the Republican Party.
Absolutamente no. That's not where it lies. Anyhow, continuing with what you guys have to say, Michael says, just notice basement backup. What does that mean? You have a backup in your basement? Yikes. Am I understanding that right? Okay, Eric Hayes says, teach financial literacy and education. Teach financial literacy and education might have a better balance in society that goes with health to less unhealthy people. I'm always for teaching, sir. Daniel Ledo says, when people have empty bellies, his message will work. Egberto Willis, so would that not mean Egberto has a political stake in assuring empty bellies? No. Remember, his admitted goal and path is political victory, starving Americans. Are any of you beginning to see under the mask? You just left me speechless. I have no idea what you're talking about. So forgive me for not biting. All right. Michael says, Eric Hayes, actually, yes, having a class on financial literacy would be worthwhile as an addition to any high school curriculum. Unfortunately, they probably wouldn't want to pay for that. You know you know how it goes. Julie Henderson says, I save $8,000 annually, gave up my car for the local bus, 600 plus, not all being double taxed, income tax and also tax on the operate the vehicle. That is pretty good. So what else did you do to save $8,000? Other than, I guess you mean you don't have a note on the car, or that's a good saving from just going to public transportation. But I wish we could do that in the state of Texas. You can't really, because I couldn't get to KPFT using the bus line without wasting a lot of time. I would be spending so much time on the bus, I wouldn't be able to do all my writing appropriately and processing videos appropriately. It would be much more difficult. So I hear you, though. Let's see what else we got here. Michael Rudnin says, Julie, I am a New Yorker. I don't have a car either. I mostly walk or take a car service where I need to. Before the pandemic, would take a bus or the subway. Also, you haven't used the subway in a while. All right, Michael also, Egberto, that basement backup was a mistype on previous comment. Eric Hayes, if government gave you the option to install an expensive subsidized solar panel and wind turbine on your roof and a battery backup in your basement, got it, to give you energy independence, got it. Julie Henderson says, vehicles are a luxury, not a necessity. Many enslave themselves for a vehicle. I bought my home near work. That's a very good thing. Daniel Ledo says, Eric Hayes, of course, they're working. Don't believe your lying eyes. No cash bail has been a rounding success. Yeah, no cash bail has been actually a success. The only people that suffered from no cash bail are the bails bonds people who now want, hey, please let those people out, but let them have to pay a bail. Please, we want to make our money. All right. What else we got here? Okay. All right, we are at 49 right now, and the other two videos that I have are not going to play. So my next subject is a very important subject, and it comes from Common Dreams. And let me see, let me pull up the article. I had it pulled up, and then what did I do? I went ahead and pulled it down. Where was that article? Bear with me, folks, as I find the article that I really wanted to talk about. And I know it's here somewhere, but I may have to do a restream to remember. Bear with me 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now. Christian. Okay. And the article had to do with, why did the committee not correctly assign blame to Christian nationalism. The title of the article, and let me put it on the screen, because I want to cover this one. I think this is an important article to cover. When I saw it, I said, yes, what took them so long? But here it goes. Faith leaders, let's get it on the screen, Egberto. Faith leaders say January 6th committee report downplays role of Christian nationalism. If we don't confront Christian nationalism, then we are leaving ourselves open to future attacks. And the reason why are, in general, Christians do follow their pastor, the person who leads the flock. And if we don't nip that one on the butt, then we'll have a problem. Carl Cox says, welcome to the program, Carl Cox. He says, Egberto got my latest email. No, I didn't. I would like to be interviewed by you again. I start college classes soon. Not sure why. What would you like to be interviewed about, Brother Cox? All right, let's go ahead and continue again. We have, in the effort to fill what they say are critical gaps in the U.S. House Select Committee report on January 6th on the U.S. Capitol, faith leaders are pushing the corporate media and the American public to confront the role Christian nationalism played in insurrection, warning that ignoring the link could make similar violence more likely in the future. The committee report released last week laid out extensive evidence showing that former President Donald Trump was the driving force behind the attack aimed at stopping lawmakers from certifying the 2020 presidential election results, but mentioned Christian nationalism just once, despite the fact that many of Trump's supporters who stormed the Capitol open expressed Christian nationalist beliefs before, during, and after the attack. A religion news service report last week. Some Trump supporters who attempted to overthrow the government carried flags displaying the so-called Jesus fish painted red, white, and blue, like the American flag, along with the words "Proud American Christian." Hundreds took part in what they call Jericho March and prayed for the election results to overturn the day before the insurrection, and some were heard chanting "Christ is King" in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. The symbols of Christian nationalism were on full display, not only on January 6th itself, but at numerous rallies leading up to the attack. Amanda Tyler, Executive Director of the Baptist Joint Committee for Religious Liberty, BJC, told Alicia Menendez on MSNBC on Friday. So go ahead and read that report. I'll have a link on it to so that it'll be easy to access. Let's see. Lee Grant says, when was the last time anyone was assaulted by a Christian? I never have. Come on, you understand what we're saying here. Come on, brother. All right, Julie Henderson says, Egberto, save vehicle to the $150 payment per month. That's good. $150 per month in insurance. That's $400 in fuel, $100 in maintenance, $100 in repair, $360. Wow. No kidding. You can save a lot of money like that, Julie. And that's $8,000 you could just throw into the bank. Deborah Moyer says, lots of verbal assault from the supposed MAGA Christian. True. And let's see if we have any more to read before we kind of get into the slower part. Para ver. Okay, I think I'm done there. But anyhow, we have to get honest about what caused January 6th to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Because as it turns out, the article is right. You guys can finish reading the article. I won't. I just wanted to bring it up as something that you should read and something that I'll have a link to. So I think you guys would enjoy that. All right. Daniel Edo, my New Year's resolution is to try more to understand the twisted pathology that is the neo-Marxist ideology expressed so well here at Politics Done Right. Maybe if I can understand the underlying reasons they embrace lies and reject logic, I just might be able to master some compassion for that jaundiced mental state. Obviously, a long-term projection, which is true, you're projecting me. And actually, if I must say, you did a good job. But, sir, You have constantly said that I lie. You have constantly said I embrace unreason or non-reason or whatever it is, correct? But you have never been able to say what lie I have told. You have never been able to say what policy that I support would damage anyone. In fact, every policy I support would not only make my life whole, the other people that are in this program lives whole, but your life whole. So I don't get it. Like I said, the power of the right's message to have people continuously vote against their own interests is powerful. And it's something that we have to match on the left because we have truth on our side. We have empathy on our side. We have honesty on our side. We have the truth, honesty, empathy, and compassion on our side. We just have a lousy PR method or manner in getting it across. So anyhow, we are coming down to the closing segments of the show, or the closing seconds of the show. So if anybody has anything else to say, it seems like Lee Grant is agreeing that something to be cured. Julie says January 6th occurred due to one party believing they are better than the other. Religion is basis or narcissistic greed. Most wars are caused by religious beliefs, which I think has been proven over and over again. But what can I say? That is the world that we live in. And what we have to do as progressives, those of us who are progressives, that is, first of all, entertain and have fruitful conversations with our right-wingers that are right now in the House as well. But deeper, we must be that example of how one should be. Deborah Moyer says, we need a progressive financial literacy or economics class online. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Maybe I should bring in some folks and create a little series for that, Deborah. Maybe I'll do something of that sort and arrange it into a structured format, maybe. But anyhow, I got to get out of here. It is at 58, and I want to close at 2 minutes early. So I want to remind all of you who are listening today to please support the program. You can support the program by going to any one of our donation lists. Our master donation list is politicsdoneright.com/support. politicsdoneright.com/support. Please find a way to support us if you believe in what we're doing. Thank you, Michael, for being here. So please find a way to support us if you can. We need your support. We need all the support we can get. You can support us via PayPal, and that is at politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. You can support us at Patreon, which is politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. If you're on YouTube, just click that subscribe button on YouTube. Become a member. Become a member of our PDR Posse. Shop at our store. Get the T-shirts and the hats, all that good stuff at politicsdoneright.com/store. And let me fix that there. Oh, that's not right. Let me get this right here. politicsdoneright.com/store for our store. Let me put that in here. And of course, our books at politicsdoneright.com/books. We couldn't possibly do this without you. Anyhow, thank you so kindly for being a part of Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willies, and you know exactly how I end this program. I am what? We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.